here's my 5 lug I just got in today. I'm so happy. Just make sure that when you buy 5 lug, make sure that you do enough research that it will fit your car. Like the wheels will clear, the calipers, it will fit everything, the trailing arms, everything fits. Just do your research. I'm not going to explain it here, but just make sure you do your research and buy the right 5 lug. And then I'll show you how to put it on. So just, first thing you need to do is you're going to have to jack up the car, jack up the front and the back. They both have to go up. So I prefer you getting 4 jack stands. I had to borrow my friend's jack stands to raise up my back because if you support the back of your car with just a regular pumping jack, the jack might leak overnight and your car will be slammed to the ground. So there's a possible leak when you use a regular jack. So make sure you put all 4 jack stands and the car is completely off the ground. Once you jacked up all 4 spots on the car, completely off the ground with 4 jacks, like I said, it's time to take off all the wheels. After you remove all of the 4 wheels, like I just did, you're going to have to go into your car, and the car has an e-brake, right? And then there's a panel that covers the e-brake. Remove that panel so you can be exposed to the e-brake cables that connect to the e-brake handle. Right here, I took off my panel. So you exposed, and then you see the e-brake cables there. You need to unscrew them, and it pulls out from underneath the car. Okay, after you take off the cover panel for the e-brake, mine looks like this. You're gonna see 2 cables that are going into the e-brake. The e-brake's here, and you see 2 cables coming from the bottom. And basically, it looks like this. It goes through here. Basically, you want to unbolt these 2 screws. I have these 2 screws that hold the cables to the floor, the car's floor. And then with these are hooked onto the e-brake cables. And the trick is that you wanna take off the e-brake. So put the lever all the way down and take off, and so that there's a lot of slack on the e-brake. Then you can twist the retaining clip, and then it pops right out. It's exactly like a throttle body. If you messed with the throttle body before, it has the throttle cable. This is exactly like a throttle cable. It hooks on just like that. You need to pull from the side, and you'll figure it out. It's really easy. But that's what you do. You can just take off the clip. After you've taken the ends off of the e-brake cables from inside the car, you need to go underneath the car and continue to take off other screws that mount the e-brake cables onto the bottom of the car. So just do that now. There's 3 mounting screws. 3. It's easy to spot because you'll see one of these mounting plates. And so I pulled it straight. You need to yank it out from underneath the car. Like, it's above the exhaust, and you just keep yanking it out. Hopefully your car, like the exhaust, has enough room so you can yank it out. I've heard that some people, they had to remove the exhaust and then take the heat shield off, and then they had to remove it that way, which is much more work. But I was lucky. I don't know why, but I had a lot of room. And remember, you don't have to swap out your e-brake cables if you already have rear disc brakes. But I have drum brakes stock, so I have to take it out. So I have to swap it. You cannot use the same e-brake cable. You cannot use the same e-brake cable if you are going from drums to disc. You have to swap it out. Remember, if you already have disc, you can leave the e-brake cables. Just detach it from here. After you remove the e-brake cables, it's time to take off the entire trailing arm. This is the easy part because the e-brake cable was the tough part, I guess. I don't know, but now it's completely free. So you can just take off the trailing arms now. Just find the screws for the trailing arms and disconnect all of them, and it should fall right off. So there's one of the upper arms right here, where the camber is, and then bolts in there underneath the car. Now you can see it. The trailing arm underneath the car, and unbolted my lower control arms. See my lower control arm. Okay, for mine, since I bought a JDM Civic Type R 5 Lug Conversion, I can use my stock lower control arms. And up there too, you can use your stock lower and upper control arms. Both of them will work. Lower and upper will work. So you don't have to buy a 5 lug conversion with lower and upper control arms. You can use your old one. It will fit. It will fit. Okay, my passenger side e-brake cable had 3 mounts, but the first mount was behind the heat shield of the exhaust. So I was wrong. I had to remove 1 screw of the heat shield. But that's all I had to do. I didn't have to remove the exhaust. I just had to pull down the heat shield after I removed the screw and get in there and take that first screw out. And the other 2 is easy. Just pull it out like you did the first one. Now both e-brake cables are disconnected. Now I just need to take off both the trailing arms and I'm done. Here's the rear wheel assembly. The shine arms, and here's the camber bolt, upper control arm. I took that out first. Take this one out too. It's 2 bolts. I'll be changing the. I have my own camber kit, so I'm not using the same my old one. I have an adjustable one, so I'm taking this whole thing out. But if you're keeping it, you just have to do it right here. No, I'm doing it right there because I'm getting rid of it. I forgot to tell you, before you take anything out, make sure you unscrew the brake lines. So mine's right here. Have a bucket underneath to catch the oil. The fluid, brake fluid. After you take the brake line off, and screw, there's a clip that holds this piece onto a bracket that's stuck to the car, as well onto the car. You cannot take off the bracket, but you can take off the hose. There's a clip right here. You just slide off with a flathead, and you can pull this off. Pull it straight down like that. If you're keeping your low control arm, then don't detach it where the strut is. Detach it where the wheel assembly is. Because you're keeping this anyways. So that's all. It's really loose now. You're gonna unbolt the trailing arms that goes towards the front of the car. This is what it looks like when the trailing arm is off. Basically, there's 2 main thick, huge bolts right here, and there's 1 bolt up there towards the front of the car. So there's 3 total that will rip this whole thing off. So it's pretty heavy. So when you unscrew it, it's gonna fall. Make sure you have a lot of clearance so you don't hurt yourself. So just unscrew it at a good spot so it will just fall down. Mine fell down really slowly, so it was really nice. This is what it looks like. I just finished taking out the wheel assembly on the other side. I used my dog food bag for my dog that I put underneath right here. So when I unscrewed it, it just fell into the bag and didn't damage the wheel assembly. Yeah, I'm putting everything back together, the new 5 Lug Conversion now. You're gonna put everything in reverse order. To remove the front wheel assembly, take off the axle nut. Take off up here. Take off the castle nut that holds the upper arm. Take off the castle nut that holds the steering tie rod to the wheel assembly, and take off the castle nut for the ball joint for the lower control arm. Pop those 3. Pop the joint down here. Pop the joint down here, right here, and remove the brake line. The wheel should come, and the wheel assembly should come off. Simply. This is what it looks like when everything's back together. This is the 5 Lug. You have this right here. This is the upper control arm. If you're planning to keep it, all you do is unbolt this castle nut right here. If you're not going to keep it and you have a new one, unbolt those 2 right there back there. 1, 2. There's 2 long bolts. You have to go underneath the hood though to screw it from the inside, because these nuts are actually welded onto the car. So when you want to replace it, you make sure you take out this nut, and the nut down here. Can't really see it. Right there. And then the brake line. That's it. Just those 4 things. And it should come off. And then just push the axle out. Put everything back in reverse order. Alright, I just finished putting all 4 wheel assemblies together from the 5 Lug Conversion. I'm going to do a quick recap of everything that you need to do so I can clarify and that there's no confusion. Like I said before, you can take off first to take off the rear one. You have this right here, the upper control arm. You're gonna remove the 2 bolts there, or you can remove it here, depending on if you're using the same one or not. And then you're gonna have this one, right? Not this one, but this one. This one is for detach the wheel assembly from the lower control arm. So that's 2. 3 would be the brake line right here. 4 is this one right here. 5 is one on the other side. 6 is the last one right there. 6 locations, and that will remove the wheel assembly, and the trailing arm should fall straight to the floor. You should put something on the bottom of the floor to cushion it on the fall if you're doing this by yourself. And make sure all your e-brake lines, I'll show you right now the e-brake lines. This is the e-brake line. It has one mount right here, and then it goes all the way back there to the second mount, and then the third one is right there. There's 3 mounts per e-brake cable underneath the car. After the third one, it goes straight up here where your exhaust is, and then it goes into the car. It's above the heat shield for the exhaust. The other side is just identical. The other side you will have 3 brackets that hold the e-brake cable, and it leads to the same area above the heat shield inside the car. Okay, after you put back all 4 of the wheel assemblies for the 5 Lug conversion, the last thing you want to do is put the e-brake cables back in. It's kind of tricky, but you just reroute it the way you took it back out. Make sure you go over like some of the piping underneath your car, some of the beams. Just go over the beams, and then just mount on those 3 screws on each side, so it's just 6 screws total, 6 brackets. And then put it back into the car. When both the cables go back inside the car, you need to latch on to those e-brake handle. At the end of the handle is a metal, it looks like a little plate, and it has 2 holes for you to hook the e-brake cables on there. I mean, at first it took me a long time. Me and my friend, it took us a long time. But then I realized that there's a tensioner nut for the e-brake cables. You adjust the tensioner, so there's a nut. So you have these 2 cables coming up into the e-brake handle right here, and then the nut should be right in the middle. You just take like a wrench and just adjust it counterclockwise to loosen it, and then clockwise to tighten it. You want to loosen it up so it's easier to hook on both of the cables to reinstall the e-brake cables. So if you had trouble trying to take off the e-brake cables in the first place, you can try to unscrew that the tensioner bolt, and that will help you a lot. After you're done with everything, you're going to need to bleed your brakes. Alright, after you finish with everything for 5 Lug, it's time to put back the wheels. That's the last thing we have to do. So here it is. Put back the wheel. Oh, nice old good wheels. Crap. This is a freaking... How did I not know this? Freaking, this is a 4 Lug on a 5... Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I didn't buy... I got too excited, like, I didn't even have wheels for my 5 Lug. Oh man, this sucks. Dang it, why can I be so stupid? Nah, I'm just kidding, dude. I'm just kidding. You know exactly what wheels I got. These. Oh yeah, alright, so it's time to put the wheels all back. This just came in today, so I was waiting for